Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of the suffering servant passage from the book of Isaiah. We're in chapter 41, and we're going to be 40. We're going to be looking at verses 21 through 26, and we're in this subsection in which the otherness of God, the bigness of God, is being communicated, and he introduced the theme of that God is bigger than the universe, that God is all powerful, that God is is in himself the embodiment of knowledge and goodness. He's omniscient, but he also defines good, what is good and what is not good. And then he asks us, how can we possibly make up our own religion or try to compare anything in our environment to the God of the universe? Anything else we try to do that is not true to him is just something that's made up and meaningless. It's just empty. It accomplishes absolutely nothing. And so now he's going to go back to the theme of the bigness of God, and particularly that he is other than, he's bigger than, he transcends, he is beyond even our universe, 13 plus billion light years across, in which we are less than the speck of sand, less than an atom of a grain of sand um, in our universe in terms of our size. And yet, we are all important to the God who is bigger than all of it. He created it for us to be a habitat for us. Um, but we can't forget how big he is. Um, Several years ago, when Charlie Rose still had his show on public television, I was watching a Charlie Rose show one time, and there was a cosmologist from MIT, and they were talking about the shape of the universe, and for a long time we thought the universe was like a thin disk, but the cosmologist, she said, no, it's not. It's a membrane. The universe is a membrane. And he said, what do you mean a membrane? And he said, it's like a sheet on a bed or a shower curtain. It's basically, thin and flat, but it has ripples in it. Um, like a shower curtain, like a blanket, like a sheet, like a curtain. That's what it is. The universe is a membrane, and this is something that we've understood just in the last 20 or odd years. Um, but we're told it in today's passage. Isaiah 40, verse 21. Do you not know? Have you not heard? Has it not been declared to you from the beginning? Have you not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is He who sits above the vault of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, and spreads them out like a tent to dwell in. He it is who reduces rulers to nothing, who makes the judges of the earth meaningless. Scarcely have they been planted, scarcely have they been sown, scarcely has their stock taken root in the earth, but he merely blows on them, and they wither, and the storm carries them away like stubble. To whom then will you liken me, that I should be his equal? Says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes on high and see who has created these stars, the one who leads forth their host by number. He calls them all by name because of the greatness of his might and the strength of his power. None of them is missing. It's such a powerful passage, and we are reminded that from the very beginning, um, we should know there is one God, one source of the universe, who ordered the universe as it is ordered. Um, let's not get caught up in his imagery for his 6th century BC readers, talking about the earth having foundations and a vault. It would have been how they understood the world around them. They would have looked up at the night sky, and it would have seemed to be a bowl, um, you know, a vault over the earth itself. He's just using terminology that they would understand to create a mental picture in their minds, in the minds of his first readers. But when he talks about God creating the universe, he's clear. He said he spread it out like it was a curtain, spread it out like it was a tent. And of course, the tents would not be, pup tents or dome tents. They would have been a large piece of cloth that then could be with poles um, formed to be a dwelling for people. Tent is an interesting image to use because a tent is temporary and the universe is temporary. But the universe, he pitched it like a tent. He spread it out like a curtain, like a blanket on a bed, and it is exactly what we know it to be, a membranous thing, something that is basically flat with ripples in it. But we didn't know then what that meant. The more we know Scripture and the more we know science, the more we know they do not in any way um, uh, uh, come into conflict with each other. However, we will never have enough knowledge of either to bring them into full harmony because our minds are finite. And if we're not good with that, then we can't be people of faith. But isn't it amazing that, in the 600s BC, we were told that the universe is a membrane. It's a sheet cast out. It's a curtain. It's a tent. It's flat, but it's got ripples in it. Um, and that's what we're told. Anyway, but we also have the theme that the kings of the earth are nothing to him, and that he can dispose of them however he wants. Why is that important to his readers? Because within the century, they are all going to be in Babylonian captivity. They are. And the great thing the Jews understood when they were carried away into captivity, that we understand because Jeremiah raised them up to understand it, because Isaiah raised them up to understand it, because Daniel, continued to prove it to be true. And it is this: just because our nation went into captivity, that doesn't mean that our God is not the God of the universe and the only true God. It only means that we were sinners. That's what it means. Many other people would be defeated and would accept the gods of their conquerors as being a greater God because their God lost. The Moabite stela, which celebrates a victory of Moab over Judah and Israel, celebrates the victory of Chemosh over Yahweh. It's kind of creepy. You can look up the text of it on your phone. But that's the way things are seen. My God versus your God. My army versus your army is my God versus your God. The Jews understood that was not the case. And that's why this is important. Whatever happens, God is the one who's bigger. And in case we're not getting that, God himself intervenes and speaks to us directly. To whom then will you liken me, that I should be his equal, says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes and see who has created the stars. Is there a more powerful proof? David's song, Psalm 19, the heavens declare the glory of God. Isaiah certainly knew that song. Isaiah had certainly sung that song. And God himself, through the prophet Isaiah, is telling us the same thing. Just look up. Every one of these stars, the trillions and trillions of stars, you can't even count them. You don't even know how many galaxies there are. But I know them all, and each one of them has a name. And I know all those names because I made them. And I'm bigger than the universe, and I'm beyond the universe. Anyway, it's such a powerful assertion and truth for us to continue to remember. And I think it's good for all of us frequently to lift our eyes to the heavens and look at the stars and to remember who it is who created them, and that he's bigger than the universe, and that he cares for us personally and individually. Okay, we'll pick up with verse 27 next time. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.